Greetings YouTube! Today I'm going to be doing a review of the THRUNITE Archer 2A V2 flashlight. It has 4 steady modes and a strobe. So first we're going to try the steady modes. The first steady mode, which you probably can't see, is called Firefly. It's really designed for up-close work. So you can see it is perfect for looking at things under low light conditions. You can clearly read what's here on the text, and be perfect for looking at maps and such inside a vehicle. And then we go up here and we'll start playing with the different settings. Alrighty, so there we go. Low, medium, and high. And you can see high is very bright indeed. Then you cycle back down again to the Firefly Mode, which I think you can actually see bouncing off the picture back there. Now, one of the things I happen to really like about this is that when I leave it on there, I turn the flashlight off. It goes back to the original setting, and that is what I think is a brilliant feature. It also has a disorientating flash mode, and that again goes back to the previous setting. So that's just a really great design in my opinion. Alrighty, next I'm going to show you folks something out of the ordinary for me, but before I go any further, you should know that the THRUNITE people have been nice enough to send me this flashlight for testing. I just want everybody to know that I got this for that purpose. So I'm going to actually try testing my flashlight outside. I am approximately 12 meters away from my target, which is my test stump. So we're in the Firefly mode, which, as you can imagine, isn't going to be illuminating a whole lot. I can just barely see the stump with this light. Here we have the low setting, medium setting, and high setting. As you can see, the high setting lights up almost my entire yard. And then we have the strobe setting, and then back down to the steady bright, and then again Firefly, low, medium, and high. And high is really bright. This is quite astounding how much light this flashlight uses, seeing it's only running on 2 AA's. So I'm very, very much impressed by this flashlight. So back to Firefly mode, and next up you'll see the footage of me up close and personal with the flashlight. Okay, now it's time for the up close and personal portion of the video. The THRUNITE Archer came in this box, and actually it's a really good quality box. My wife commented on that when she saw it, so I think I'm going to repurpose this as something. I'm not sure what. It came with some literature, which I'll take a look at in a moment. It came with a desiccant pack to keep things nice and dry. It came with a lanyard. I'm not a huge fan of this type, this thinness, but I never had one break, but they always make me nervous. I don't know, but it's just me personally. And it came with extra O-rings and an extra cap, which is a nice bonus. The only thing about the cap, I think I would have preferred if the cap had either been brightly colored or glow in the dark. I realize that for some small segment of the population, this is going to be an actual tactical light. For the rest of us, it isn't. And visibility, to my mind, is important. And it's a very attractive flashlight. I don't think you actually have to necessarily make the flashlight itself visible, but the thing butt cap would have been nice. So we have the THRUNITE literature in here, which talks about the specs, gives you all of the features listed. It talks about the specifications. It's got a Cree bulb. It has 4 steady and modes and 1 strobe mode. I like the fact that it's waterproof, which is really nice. It has an IPX8 standard, which is good. comes with your a stainless steel pocket clip, which is all the external stuff, and this pocket clip is removable. As I said before, I was very impressed with the light itself as far as the output, but the features on the flashlight of its physical structure is really quite nice. So we have the THRUNITE logo here on this side, Archer 2AV2, serial number CT01000342, all in nice clear letters, which I like. It has the only removable part on the outside is the butt cap, which I'll... And here is the O-ring in question. Very simple butt cap, and uses 2 standard AA batteries. Now, I don't know how many people watching this have worked with metal in the past. These threads are very well cut. With the small amount of lubricant on here and the O-ring to go with it, it's a very nice haptic feel. It just has a sense of quality to it. I know this is not going to matter to some people, but to me, I really appreciate when someone puts effort into making a thread like this. I've used a lot of flashlights in my day where the threads, they didn't line up, or they were rough. You could literally, you're turning it and it was like you were running the threads over a file. And these feel nice and smooth, and they're consistent, and I really appreciate that. There's one of the nice things about the clip, I think, is that it's a great stop. This is a hexagon shape, so if the clip wasn't here, it would still have a roll prevention, but I think having the clip itself present is really quite useful in that regard. And the clip is nice, and it's tight. It's not too tight. Clips that are too tight, I think, are obnoxious. You find a lot of those in knives. Here we have the stainless steel strike bezel. So if you need to, you could actually use this as a weapon. Or potentially, I'm not sure if you'd be able to take a windshield out or not, but maybe you could. But it would definitely be better than hitting it with your hand, I can tell you that. And they advertise this as a smooth bezel in there, and I really happen to I like that. A lot of the time you'll see these and they have a texture to them, and the texture is supposed, I think the texture is in theory supposed to help avoid artifacts in the beam. But if you have a good bulb, you shouldn't have to worry about artifacts in the beam. And this flashlight has a good bulb, and it gives a really nice flood. Nice and smooth, and as you've seen the video footage outside, it has a really good throw. In that high mode, man, this thing just lit up my yard. It almost went from one side to the other. Definitely very impressed with the light that this thing puts out. This switch right here is the switch that transfers from mode. So on and off, it stays locked in the mode that you've set it to. So if you hit this button, does nothing until it's on. That's a really nice feature. So once it's on, then you can then manipulate it. You probably can't even see that because it's so light. Here you go. Low, medium, high. Back down to Firefly, and you hold it for strobe. I really happen to like this Firefly. I didn't show the footage, and I should have, but I tested it when I came back upstairs in a dark room. This is sufficient at the Firefly mode to see my feet, which means I could walk around with this flashlight at the Firefly mode. At the Firefly mode, these batteries in here for a fully charged set will last 672 hours. That is insane. That means if you had, this is the only flashlight you had available to you in a power outage, that's weeks of light. Over 3 weeks of light. And that's running this all the time, which you're not going to be doing. You're only going to be running it at night. So you could be running this thing for almost 2 months at night. And that's keeping it on all the time in the dark. And no one does that. So in short, this flashlight is going to be there when you need it in the Firefly mode. And that is something that cannot be overemphasized enough. Having a flashlight that's going to be there when you need it is the most important aspect of a flashlight. Here we have here at the butt cap, we have 2 slots for your lanyard, which is nice, and the U, so it's very comfortable to do like this. So your standard thumb connection. Let me turn this up so it's easier for you to see that. There you go. It's also, because of this shape, It's very easy to do in a cigar mode, which is a mode that I use fairly frequently myself, though I will admit that a lot of the time I'm just doing this, which is quite nice. And you can also, if you really want to, you can do it like this, which is a mode that I've used depending on how I'm carrying the flashlight or how I picked it up. One thing I happen to like about the scalloped look on this is that if you happen to put this down, tip down, and you can see if the flashlight's on. Because I've actually done that, because I was doing something, I had a flashlight on, put it down, picked it up and used it. But if you put it down and you get distracted, you don't want to leave your flashlight on. And that's good. It's the fact that light leak will actually help you prevent that. Now, as far as critiques of the light, the only critique I can really find about this, and I've been playing with this thing for days, and I've been using it around the house and checking things out, and I used it outside and in my normally dark room. This has a momentary switch, which means if you just touch it like this, it will work, and then you go all the way in, it'll stay on. And the always on feature is a really nice, firm, affirmative click. I also happen to like the sound. That's just me. And I also happen to like the feel of that button as well. The problem is that if you throw this into a gear bag or a purse, there's the potential something can lean up against it or press up against it. And that, if it goes off in a gear bag or a purse or a backpack or a bug out bag, your battery could drain. Now, the way to avoid that is put it into Firefly mode and have it remain in Firefly mode all the time, and only turn it up when you need it. That way, in the event something does momentarily press against this, and it's very unlikely something is going to press against it and stay pressed against it, at a 672-hour runtime, you're not going to have to worry about losing your batteries. And I think it's smart to always use a flashlight at the lowest mode possible, and I really hate the fact that most flashlights require you to cycle through them with the main switch. This is the only flashlight I have ever encountered, okay, that has that secondary button. And it's a really nice design. And I'm not just saying this because somebody gave this flashlight to me for nothing. I'm saying this because it's a really nice design. It works. And when a feature works, I talk about it. So there you go, folks. This has been the Archer 2A V2 from THRUNITE. This is a quality flashlight. It's going to be there when you need it. It has a nice heft to it. My wife commented about the fact that she really liked the physicality of it. It had a nice feel to it, a nice heft to it. It feels like a quality product because it is a quality product. I checked on Amazon, and I think the pricing there was like $39, which means you get free shipping. So you can't really lose. That's a good price, and you're going to get a quality flashlight for your money.